Jeffrey had been abused as a child before we had adopted him, and that abuse resulted in a lot of dysfunctional problems. We had him in counseling. He and I were like this for years and years, and then before we could really resolve a relationship, he got killed in a motorcycle accident. And I never really resolved my feelings towards him. I had a lot of anger because of his behavior. We had police in the night, and also him in jail, etc. And finally I decided I had to do something about it. I said, well, I'll write about it. I'll write him some letters seeking reconciliation. And that happened, about 10, 12 years ago. And it took me years to finish, but I got motivated to get back into it and finished it and published it in February of this year.
Give me an idea how emotional it was as you wrote these letters. I know you spaced them out over 10 or 12 years, but still, as you wrote them, I'm sure it was very emotional.
There were times when, as I wrote, I actually had tears in my eyes. And then when I'd try and read some of it to my wife to get her feedback, I would break up. There was a lot of emotion there. I've gotten through that. I don't think you ever get completely through losing a child, even if it's been a difficult child and a difficult upbringing of that child. But writing the book, as I say in the book, I think I've found some reconciliation with my own inner thoughts and with my anger towards Jeff. I'm not angry at Jeff anymore. I realized that his behavior was a product of him having been abused as a child in the first almost 7 years of his life before he came to live with us. So, and I pray that he has found reconciliation with me, because we had some knockdown dragouts. Yeah. We also had some humor in our relationship. Obviously, it wasn't all bad. He had many good parts about him. He was a kid that got money from his mom to go buy flowers for a little old lady that he often saw sitting on a bus bench, and when he ran out of money, he persuaded the flower vendor to give him some bouquets, perhaps day-old bouquets, to take to this little old lady. So, and
what has been the reaction from other family members, especially his mom? What has gone through their minds? What have they commented to you concerning the book?
Well, there was some concern from his adoptive mom, my ex-wife, about some of the stuff I wrote, because his twin sister, Sheila, who's doing just well, has memories of him that are haloed. And she has pretty much repressed all the bad stuff, although during his life she was constantly on him to shape up. But apparently Sheila has a book, and her husband has a book, and I haven't gotten any bad feedback. In fact, she told me once when I was writing that she'd had I don't know how much credence to put in this, I believe her, but she said she went to, on a whim, she went to like a fortune teller once, who told her that she'd contacted Jeff, and Jeff was saying, "Tell Dad thanks for writing the letters." Well, the mystery of this is I had never told Sheila at that time that I was writing these letters, so who knows. But anyway, I think Sheila's okay with it, and her mom's okay with it. In fact, her mom contributed some stuff to the book. She kept some diaries and letters from the time that we were working in Mississippi as civil rights workers, and that ended up a lot of those verbatim in the book. So the book is not just about Jeff, it's about me as a youth, my work in civil rights, letters to him about him and his traumatic events, stuff in my early life, like my mom pulling a gun on my dad and threatening to shoot him, that was traumatic to me. The whole idea being to try and share with Jeff and bring us closer together.
Is there any significance to the book coming out during this 50th anniversary of Selma?
I did want to get it out this year for the simple reason that one of the chapters, one of the letters in the book, is about my efforts to get, under the Voting Rights Act, to get Kemper County, Mississippi certified for federal voting examiners. Under the Voting Rights Act, if there was a history of voter intimidation in a county, the Justice Department could certify that county for imposition of federal voting registrars. And I wanted to do that for Kemper County. That didn't succeed. This is when I was an attorney for the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department. That didn't succeed because I was rather naive. I didn't realize that Kemper County was a home county for Senator Stennis, who was a ranking member of the Appropriations. Well, Justice Department is funded through appropriation, so that got squelched. It was 7 years later, after I asked for it, that finally they certified Kemper County for voting registrars. I often wondered how many blacks were denied voting in that 7 years, but you know, I call it Poli-Sci 101 because politics is not always just.
You've written the book for yourself. You've gotten a lot of stuff off your chest. What do you think this will offer to your readers, especially others who have gone through very similar situations?
I think this is an excellent book for people who have had adopted kids and discovered things about their past, or that their mother had fetal alcohol syndrome or some such thing where they had a lot of problems. And I know from talking to other people about their adoptions, the things that developed that were very difficult. I think adoptive parents, even if they have perfectly well-behaved adopted kids, that there's a story to be told here about some of the adventures and misadventures in the adoptive process. So, and as well as just learning about a kid and his background and how the adoption process worked, and what families often go through with in difficult adoptions.